Hi, this is Josh at Cody Cove Farm. Today we're looking at a really interesting plant for the Florida home garden called the West Indian Burr Gherkin, which is a variety of Cucumis anguria. We're sorry, there's some construction going on in the background. Hopefully you can't hear it too badly in this video. So this plant we're looking at is one of the cucumber relatives from Africa. There's quite a few of these, and many of them deserve more exploration and really merit more people to be growing them. This one, for instance, Cucumis anguria, as you can see, this is growing very well. It's the last day of April, I believe today. The heat is really starting to set in. And with no sprays, with no sort of really interventions, we have basically a crop here that's completely free of pests and diseases. My experience with growing cucumbers, which are Cucumis sativus, is that they get a lot of different pests and diseases in this hot, humid climate. So this is a crop that can be eaten in a few different ways. Here we have at the size that this is a suitable cucumber replacement. After this size, it starts to get a little more tough and not so desirable to eat. However, it continues to get up to this size, and at this size, this makes a pretty suitable summer squash. Maybe a notch lower than a zucchini, but pretty good. I would gladly eat this at my meals very often. It's quite a good summer squash. And in fact, Brazil is one place where they really treat this as a serious crop. It's called machixe in Brazil, and in Brazil it is traditionally a cooked food item. So they think of it more as a summer squash than a cucumber. But the nice thing about this is that you can use it both ways. There are small spines on this, little tiny spines. They're not really an issue. I just take it and kind of rub it in my shirt and eat it right in the field, or if you're gonna prepare it in the kitchen, you might just wanna take your hands under the water and rub it real quick, and the little tiny spines all knock off and they don't bother you at all. So this is a very, very productive crop, and that's what I like about this plant. It's very thrifty and productive. You'll see here that the plants are laden with fruit. There's so many fruits on this trellis crop that they're actually touching each other down under there. There's literally hundreds of them down under the canopy. And so we are experimenting this season with two different methods of growing this. This system is trellising. This works if you're willing to keep after it. It really is a crop, even though it has tendrils and would appear as something that wants to climb, it really prefers to sprawl. If it's left to its own devices, very minimal climbing, mostly sprawling like a sweet potato. Our other patch behind me is also growing rampantly, producing very well, and we're letting that just sprawl on the ground. Here we've trained it up the trellis, but to make it do this, you have to take the vines, bring them up, and then I've been using little clips to attach them to the trellis. In this case, this was an experiment to see if we could conserve space and if this could be viable for people that have just beds with tight pathways that don't want to let this sprawl. Over there, the vines have sprawled about 8 feet away from the plant already, and it's not done growing yet. And there's hundreds of little fruits and mature fruits tucked all through that sprawling mat over there. So you can plant this near young fruit trees, things like this, and allow it to make a cover on the ground and get a food crop. This plant can grow in fairly adverse conditions, as long as there's some degree of water and fertility. Though what we see is if you put it into a supercharged raised bed like this, that's when you get the hundreds of fruits and they're touching each other. However, you can get a crop in more marginal conditions than you would grow a lot of different types of vegetables. So yeah, this is a wonderful plant. It's got a deep history. It comes from Africa. It's cultivated in a number of different countries, but this is a winner for Florida. It should be much more widely grown. It should be more known in the Florida community because cucumbers and summer squash are crops that face a lot of pests and diseases in our climate. One thing I like about this plant is that you can transplant them. So this is a warm weather plant. It best grown in the spring or the fall. Not so wonderful in the dead heat of our Florida summer. So I had seeded these plants into 4-inch pots before this bed was even made. They could sprawl out of these 4-inch pots you throw them in the ground and they don't really take a lot of shock, and they just come right out of that and grow. A lot of our cucurbits don't transplant well. So that's a nice feature of this. You can also direct seed them. Very easy plant to grow, a great one for beginning gardeners. And for kids, they're really fun because they hang down on these long stems, and they're really interesting looking vegetable, and they taste good. All right, we're back here on July 9th for a quick update. We hadn't got around to uploading this video yet, so fortunately we get to make this update. It's July 9th today, which is 70 days after we filmed the first section of this video. And as you can see, this has continued going. This Burr Gherkin has, in the video, it was mostly in the bed. It's sprawled out. These vines have gone all over the place since then. And what's amazing is that they're still producing here in the beginning of July. There's no insects or anything getting into these. And it doesn't look like it's going to stop. I'm kind of starting to wonder how long this is going to really go. We were harvesting these before we filmed the first section of this video, which was the last day of April, or the first day of May. I don't know how long before, but we were picking them before that, and it's still going 70 days later. So I would say we've been picking these for 3 months, and it honestly looks like it's going to keep going. So this is an amazing Florida crop, highly underexploited and extremely productive. Even now with this intense heat. Today is going to be 98 degrees. Yesterday was 97, and this thing just doesn't care. And there's literally thousands of ripe fruits that we're harvesting seed from, and there's sections in here where there's so many fruits that it almost looks like somebody harvested them and put them in a pile. They're almost touching each other with the amount of productivity. So yeah, we're excited to see this. This is just an incredible crop, and I think that a lot of people in Florida will do very well with this, to grow your own little cucumbers, or let them get a little bigger and grow your own squash. And this batch, we're gonna make some pickles. We hear it's one of the best pickles out there. So, yep, all right. West Indian Burr Gherkin, Cucumis anguria. So this is Cucumis anguria. We do offer seeds of this at Cody Co Farm. You can check it out and get some seeds there, and consider growing this in your Florida garden this year. See ya.